you can work in their measurements you can figure it out that way. Does that make sense? Because you can just plug it in and then do it the wrong way, or do it the opposite. Are we on the same page? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay. Hi everybody, welcome to the show. This is episode 50. I don't have a name for it yet. It might just be my Shawlography I don't know, episode? I don't know. Shawlography's done finally. And I have like nothing really to talk to you about. I do have an update about Lola. If you have been following, Lola had back in August, if you remember, she had a rash that I brought her in for, and when they discovered that rash, they also discovered that she had a low functioning thyroid. And then we went through, did she have Addison's? Did she have, what was that other thing they thought she had? That my foster had. I don't remember, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so that led to them discovering that she had low thyroid, and that's how she got the thing in the first place. Well, she was on 3 rounds of antibiotic, and it wouldn't go away, so they finally cultured it, and it came back as some antibiotic-resistant staph-like organism. So the antibiotics they could give her aren't really safe, so I have to do these medicated baths, and like we're treating her skin instead of the body with antibiotics, because I guess they're really unsafe. So she doesn't like the baths. She hates them. So that's what we're dealing with right now, which has been ongoing since I said August. So hopefully we can get this knocked out and we don't have to worry about antibiotics and unsafe things and how we're going to treat it. So that's your update on Lola. She's fine otherwise. I don't think they itch her a little, I think, but I don't know, man. I had staph on my leg twice, and that was painful. Like, I had like a literal volcano on my leg because I'm such a baby. I wouldn't go to the doctor. And then when I finally did go to the doctor, I went to urgent care, and the nurse is like, wow, that looks really bad, because I had it wrapped up. I hate doctors. So, like, I have such PTSD with doctors. I absolutely hate any type of medical environment. I mean, if it's the vet, it's fine, because it's not for me. But anytime it's, like, I can go with other people. Anytime it's for me, no. I'll stay home. No thanks. So, like, it got to the point where, like, this wound had grown into a volcano on my leg, and it was oozing, and it was really disgusting. And it was when I couldn't walk on it anymore, I was like, okay, I think I have to go to the doctor. So I went to urgent care, and the nurse was like, okay, I need to unbandage this so I can look at it. And I'm like, okay. And she like, aren't they supposed to be like, no big deal? And she's like, wow, that looks like bad. And I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to say that. So then the doctor came in, and he was so cool. Oh my God, he was so cool. And he was like going to swab it, and I'm like, like, and he's like, because it hurt a lot. And he was like, do you want to swab it? And I'm like, can I? Because, like, I'll touch it with the, that giant Q-tip, And I'm like, will you tell me how? And he's like, just touch it, get some of that on there. And I'm like, okay. Because then I know I'm not going to hurt myself, right? Because someone else is probably going to dig in there, right? So, yeah, he let me swab it myself and then put the cap on it. And, then I had to do antibiotics, and they were really bad because he thought it was MRSA. And I'm like, I don't think it's MRSA because I've never even had staph before. So then I had that. I still have nerve damage on my leg from that. Like I do. I have a scar from it. I have nerve damage from it that they said I may or may not get feeling back. And then like a was it a year later, sometime later, I had another one above it, like a couple inches above it, and I freaked out and I went right to the doctor because I was like, I don't want another volcano on my leg. And that's the only 2 times I've had staph, and I don't know why I was getting it. I think I was getting it because I think that's at the point in time that I found out I was allergic to mango through mango butter on my skin. So if you use mango butter, okay, if you and you get blisters, okay, because I would shave my legs and then I put mango butter. It wasn't just mango butter. It was my body butter that I make. That's all natural stuff, unrefined oils and stuff like that. Because I picked healing butters and oils to heal eczema on my leg, which worked. But then I was having these blisters all over my legs. And I'm like, what is happening? And it turns out because I was shaving my legs and then putting mango butter on it, and I have a mango allergy. And mango allergies cause blisters. Like if you see people that eat mango, they have blisters, like in and around their mouths from it. And I was like, this is from an allergy? Like when I finally figured that out, then I gave all those body butters I had made away to my mom, I think. And then I now remake my body butter without mango butter, and it's fine. So I'm wondering if that allergy did something. I'm not sure if it was at the same time, though. I'm trying to remember if it was, because I think I thought it was starting out as that, but I don't remember. That is here nor there. Cut that too. That's dumb. So anyway, let's get into what I'm wearing since we're wasted like 18 minutes. This is Ruth. This is my free pattern, Ruth. It is a top-down triangle shawl on fingering weight. This is on a merino cashmere nylon base, and this particular base comes from Tina's Twisted Fibers in her colorway Harlot, which is one of my favorite colorways of all time. I absolutely love this colorway. I think it's gorgeous. I love the uneven speckleness because it's real dark up at the top and then it's, whiter in other places. I love the unpredictability of speckles sometimes if I like the colors that are in, being speckled. But this is available for free on our website. It's Old Shale Repeat that comes to a point at the end, and then these little points kind of come out. Not so much when I'm wearing it, I guess. I have it tightened up a bit on me today, and it's rolling because I have it tied in a knot instead of just twisted around. So that's Ruth. I just think she looks so gorgeous in this colorway. So yes, for free at morningdewstudio.com. Link down below will take you to patterns, the shop. Oh, the shop, guys. There is Halloween-y colors in the shop still. I'm trying to think of the Halloween yarns. The Halloween yarn colorways are in the shop. Those are all on fingering weight bases. I did decide that okay, I want to do a couple Christmas, holiday, solstice, Hanukkah even, goth colorways. Just a few that I'm thinking of getting them done pretty soon, and then opening them up to pre-order so you can order before, so I know how many to make and what base you want, and then I'll open up to every base I have on hand except for the non-superwash merino. Not seeing that one just yet. But I'll open it up to all the bases I have, which I believe is some worsted and some DK, and I will put those out I have to finish them. They're still in development, so I'll have to dye up the final prototypes, I guess, is what I'm calling them. I just don't like the idea. Here's the thing. I don't have any space to put finished yarn. I don't have, I just don't have the space. I don't have, like, I have a place for my to be dyed yarn, my bare yarns, but as of right now, I don't have a place I don't have a lot of space to keep a lot of finished inventory on hand. So I figured I'll do a limited number of pre-orders and we'll open it up to any base I have. So I'm figuring I would put those on sale, thinking Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving, which is in 2 weeks. So 2 weeks, I can have them finished up in 2 weeks and be ready for pre-orders, and then I don't know, open them for like a week, and then, because I don't want to wait too long before I dye them up and send them out, right? So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we'll do a pre-order on, and then I'll keep the pre-orders open, but I'm saying our initial pre-order will be, I mean, I can't imagine I'm going to have a very long turnaround time because I don't have a lot of customers. So they'll pretty much be done, soon after, within a week of ordering, I would assume. I would, have some time between when I get the order within the next week to do it. So that's what I'm thinking. I've got 3, and I'm toying with a 4th, but I think 3 is, I don't really like the holidays, but I have 3 solid ideas that I want to do for some reason. I don't know why. I'm feeling inspired, I guess, by all the holiday yarns I'm seeing, and I'm like, this is not goth enough. And I know some goth people do like the holidays. I am not one of them, but one of the colorways I really want for myself, so I'm trying to figure out what base I want, because I'm going to make it on that base and I'm going to make something with it. So I'm trying to decide if I want to make a top and use that, whatchamacallit, the wool of the Andes that I showed you the other time that I was going to make the double hat in, and I was like, oh, I'll use it for top. And I'm thinking it's a tricolor. Do you remember tricolor from earlier in the year? The tricolor. It's a tricolor pattern, and I want to make that up as a top and see what I think it look cool. So that's basically I want to make this for myself, so I'm also gonna offer it to anyone else who wants it on whatever base, because I think if you can tell me what base you want, that's better than me guessing. But I also don't want to get, what do you call it, like buried in pre-orders, and like, what's her name, when that Wingspan came out, that poor girl that had, like, she blew up and went viral, and like everyone and their brother ordered yarn from her, and then it took her like a couple of years, I think, to get everything filled, because she just had so much. I feel so bad for her. That's like my worst nightmare in the whole world, is to just boom, to be instantly successful. Oh my God, I would like hide. I would have refunded everyone's money and shut up my shop and like run away and become a hermit. That's what I would have done. She has gorgeous yarns too, and she's the type of dyer that you see her stuff and you know it's her, and I love that. I love when you see it and you know exactly who that is. She's got such great colors, just absolutely great colors. Anyway, I can't think of her name. I follow her on Instagram, and she's got adorable dogs. All I can think of is her dog Aria, who is adorable, and I'm the type of person that's going to forget your name and your business name, but I'm going to remember that when your dog's name is Aria, because she's adorable and I love her. Anyway, should we get into the actual episode? Okay, so whips. Whips. Well, there's no whip in the... Oh, because it's right there. I'm going to get to that in a minute, but I want to do this one first. Because this is the Jurassic... Wool of the Andes in Jurassic. We're making a top. I just attached the last 50-gram ball. So once that runs out, this will be done, and I can... well, the insides are sewn up already. I tend to do the insides, yeah, as I go. Because putting these, I gotta tell you, like, weaving in ends is like one of the most satisfying things. I absolutely love weaving in ends. Is that weird? I love weaving in ends because it's like a puzzle. You know what I mean? And this 2x2 is 2x2 ribbing. The weaving in ends is awesome because where they come out, I switch in between the two knit stitches. So you knit one, and before you knit the next one, you switch. So you knit the first one in the old yarn, and then you knit the second one in the new yarn. That's all you do. Then you just leave it. Like, you don't twist, you don't do anything. I don't do anything. And then when you come around to the next round, because it starts up here, this is where, see this right here, this little cross over here. So I take this side and I put it into this side, and I take this side and I put it into this side. These columns, here, if I show this, these columns. So you take this outside one and you just put your needle in there and you just go whoop, 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 whoop. And I do 13 stitches. And then you go down this side, whoop, 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 13 stitches. And then you just pull the end through, and then on the other side, especially after you block it, let's see where this one is by feel, because this is relatively new. Okay, so this is right here. That's not going to be able to show you because it's too close to the end. I mean the edge. Okay, so let's show you this one. It's right here. And you can't even see it. You cannot even see. I'm pulling it apart and you cannot see it. You cannot see it. On the inside, you can see it. So it's here. That's where they cross over, and then they come down 13 stitches. So this right here is all you see on the wrong side. But on the right side, you see nothing. You can't even tell where it is. And even when this is stretched out, you can see it even less because everything's stretched out. And it will unpucker. See, it's puckering right there. That will unpucker when you see, that's where it is, that pucker. But when this is all stretched out like this, it'll get rid of that pucker. Like, it's the most amazing. I love weaving in ends on any type of ribbing. Even brioche, you can do this on brioche. Just go on the wrong side of your brioche and find the V's and just go in one side of the V and go straight down and then pull it through. And then that's what I did on my shawl, my Stephen West shawl. It's the easiest. Okay, so that was my top. It doesn't matter because I don't have a pattern to give you for that. That was remake us. The closest thing to that is the Curvy Girls. Dang it, hang on. This is from Girly Knits Bra Top by Lauren Riker. And that is done bottom up. Okay. So you make, that was my problem with this, was I wanted to use up as much yarn as possible, but I like going top down because I'm long torsoed. So their version was not long enough for my torso. So someone in the projects, in their comments, left her, she reworked it to be top down. And so I took her notes and I made them fit my size. And so in some of my early, if you go to my project page, I mean, you can, if you want to make this girly knits bra top, you can, but it's bottom up. It's basically the exact same thing. It's just the torso of mine is longer to account for my longer torso. That's all. Plus, because I don't like to guess when I'm working things bottom up. You have to guess at where you are and how long you're going to be and how much yarn you have left. And I don't like to work that way. So if I work top down, I just work until I run out of yarn. And then it's as long as it can be, right? Which I'm going to like because I have a long torso, like I said, like 5 times. But in some of my very early projects, I have a picture of my notes, of my pattern notes that give you the exact same thing. So if you are the size that I am, or if you want to rework to make your size, you can, if you know how to do that. I have a worsted weight and a DK weight on my Ravelry page. It's called Worsted Knit Top and DK Knit Top. And some of the earlier ones I think have the stitch counts and everything of how you do it. It's just like the girly knits, it's just switched to be top down. So if you know how long you need your strap to be, that was the hardest part for me, was figuring out how long the strap needed to be to lay where I wanted it to. But now that I've done like a dozen of them, it doesn't matter. So you can make the girliness one. And you can also take those, it's a free pattern, so you can take those stitch counts and work them backwards. Do you understand? If you look at how I did the setup for the triangle top, you can work in their measurements for you can figure it out that way. Does that make sense? Because you can just plug it in and then do it the wrong way. Or do it the opposite. Are we on the same page? Do you understand what I'm talking about? Okay. This now we're going to talk about is the Witchling that I did on sport weight yarn. I'm telling you guys, if you're going to do this, do yourself a favor, do it on DK. Do it on DK unless you like a really thin fabric that's kind of holy. Okay, did I tell you this last time? If you live where it snows, do a DK weight. If you knit where it doesn't snow, do sport weight. Okay, what I'm going to show you here before I take her off is, look at this. This is so floppy. I have to redo this. So this is like super floppy, right? I had this on and it's just so floppy. And that's because I started with the recommended needles, which did not work. This is a very open weave. Do you see this, how open this fabric is? This is what I'm saying. If you live in a climate that doesn't get snow, or you're not one that gets cold, this would probably be fine. For me, this is going to be a layered piece. This is no way this is going to be my outside layer. So it's still wearable as that. I mean, I have to redo because it's too big. Also, this ribbing was done at bigger needles because I was like, whoa, this is huge. I'm going to go down to smaller needles to get closer to the gauge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to redo with smaller needles up here. I'm going to use the same needles here because I did these on a 4 and I got 21 inches. I could not get 20 inches. And if I go down anymore, I'm going to get less, and I can't go up anymore because I couldn't get 20. So Also, I don't really think I want to go any looser than this fabric for a sweater, you know? So, this is not, why is this not making sense to me? Okay, let's forget it. I don't know where I'm at right now. I'm so confused. Yes, these were, did it start with this? No, because I thought it started in the, oh, it doesn't matter. Oh my God. Okay, so I already have a plan for this in DK. I have a color plan for DK, so I don't want, I'm not ready to do it right now. I haven't perfected that purple color, which is what I'm going to use. So I didn't want to make this again in black in DK because I've already got it black and red on this. So I'm going to redo it using small, one of her testers used a 4 on hers. So whatever she used for the ribbing, I'm going to use whatever size she used on the ribbing because hers looked like it came out okay. So I'm going to redo this with the same needle, 4mm, and I'm going to go one size down because I did the size 2 because that was the closest to my, but it only gives you bust measurement. So that was the closest to my bust measurement. And then she says you're supposed to pick 4 inches, 2 to 4 inches above that, and the next size up was, I thought, way too big. So I thought I would be safe with the right on, pretty close size. So the first size is actually too small. So, but with how big this is, I think the first one's going to be fine. I think it'll fit fine. Because this just had just way too much, and even here in the armpit there was so much, it was folding over, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So that means I'm gonna run out of yarn, so I'm gonna redo this in the smallest size and just kind of hope for the best. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do. I mean, if I do the DK version, hopefully I'll make gauge with DK. This stuff's just too small at those needle sizes to make that gauge. I don't think I could make that gauge with this. And gauge is a fickle thing because it's, you know, knitting isn't static. It's not like a concrete number. It's also going to depend on your gauge while you're knitting in the round, and your gauge is going to might change when I go to knitting the sleeves, because I knit the sleeves on a 9-inch circular and I do them tandem. I do like a repeat on the sleeve and then I'll do a repeat on the other sleeve. So I work them at the same time, you know, going back and forth between the two, because I don't want to, you know, hate sleeves. And I typically get this far in a sweater and then I do the sleeves immediately. Because I love doing the body. The body just goes so fast. And with this body having color work, as soon as that color work's done, I'm going to want to wear this. I'm not going to want to be stuck on sleeve islands. I want to do the parts. I'm like, eat the vegetables before your dessert kind of person, you know what I mean? So you can really enjoy your dessert. My only worry is that the sleeve will be a little too small, but I really don't think so because if it's too big over here, so I don't recall the sleeves being that, and if it is, I might make the sleeve the same size. I'm going to see what the pattern does, and I'm not quite sure about that just yet. So anyway, that's my Witchling, not 100% about it. I'm also going to mark the front and back because I can't tell, and you did short rows on the back and I can't see them. So, I mean, I guess that's good that I can't see where the short rows are, but I don't know which is the front and which is the back. Oh, this looks like it might be the back. Okay, this is the back. Okay, so that still doesn't sound right to me. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, because I put, yeah, this is right, because I put this under this, right? I don't remember. Oh my God, I don't remember. So I'm going to mark the front somehow. Probably just put a little thing there, because I'm not good with raglans, guys. I like to do the contiguous because I don't have any idea how those work out. Like, it's beyond, I don't get it. Like, raglans, obviously, you increase, right? And it gets, like, I understand raglan, but the contiguous sleeves, I don't understand. So those are easier for me to do because I have to actually pay attention. Where raglan, you're kind of like, oh, this is easy. And then you lose your mind and you totally forgot what you're doing. Okay, so that are my 2 whips. So I'm going to be starting the Witchling over today. I'm wondering if, because I just blocked it, I'm going to have to re-wet it and let it dry. Because remember, my cat ate through my other 2 skeins. So this is my only one skein that's full. And I kind of wanted to get all of this done in one piece, because then I figure one of them he split almost half and half. So I was going to start the sleeves on those ones, and then the other one's like 70 grams and like 30 grams. So I was probably going to do the 70 grams next on this one, and then do like the 50-50 on the, it was like 50-40, so I would start that on the sleeves. So I'm probably going to have to re-wet that and everything. So anyway, whoops. Would you like to talk shawlography? Because my shawlography is done. And okay, here's my shawlography that you really can't see because it's so dark. Right? Okay, so what I want to show you is I mirrored here. So there's burgundy, light gray, teal, and then the dark gray. So what I did is, because I had an extra, I think you're only supposed to have 50, I don't know how many you were supposed to have, but I had 3 extra here. Because it was a 5 color repeat. So I counted, and I had 3 extra. So I pulled this down to here. So we have the dark gray in the middle, the teal on either side, light gray, then burgundy, and then the black. Okay, so I took the colors and went the same way with the stripes, so they mirror. So the ends are the same colors, kind of, because that one's weird, right? So I also weighed my skeins before I started. I weighed them after each section that they were used. And then I didn't weigh them after each stripe. I weighed them at the end of the stripe process. I did that because I thought if I ever wanted to do this again, that would be easier. And I'm still standing by, you could have done this in 2 colors. But I'm not going to do this again, and I'm going to tell you why. And it's not the shrimps. Everyone's calling these shrimps, right? It's not the shrimps. It's not the nubbins. The reason I don't want to remake it is because it's not that big. It's not as big as I was hoping it was going to be, because his things are always oversized. And given last year, the Slipstravaganza was so big, and this year with 5 colors, I thought this thing's going to be massive. And I had like, Okay, so leftover, wait, that's section 10. Okay, end of Shawlography here. Leftover, I had of the black, which was the color I used the most was black, 32.92 grams left. A red was 41.66, light gray 48.74, dark gray 47.80, teal 46.34. So having at least 30 grams left of each color. What's 30 times 5? 150. That's an extra 150 grams. That's an extra skein and a half that we could have got out of this. So I have to say, I enjoyed the process. I enjoyed picking out my colors, although I wish he had said you could get away with using 2 colors, because I would have just used 2 colors. And if I do Shawlography next year, I will do 2 colors. And I'll have a third as a backup if I need a third, but I don't think all of this, every single thing here, could have done with black as my main color. I could have started with black, this over thing, you know, this black, right? This could have been black in a different color. You could have either done all of these black with your secondary color, or the opposite, you could have done your secondary color with the black triangles, or you could have alternated each row. Then this is only 1 color. The shrimps are 1 color. This part's 2 color. Again, either one you want to do. The welts, 1 color. Then this section, 2 colors. The, what do you call these? The nubbins. Bobbles, 1 color. Brioche, 2 color. And then this crisscross, 1 color. And then this could have been anything. This you could have done as many as you wanted. You could have done each color. You could have done some sort of fade. You could have done, I saw some really nice fades going through here on some of your projects. So given that you're only working at most 2 colors at the same time, this could have been done in 2 colors. And I would have liked it a lot better in 2 colors. In fact, I probably would have done this exactly the same. Done this in my contrast color, and then done this entire thing in black. This ending in black. And that way it wouldn't be so busy for me. But I mean, color is part of his thing, and I've been seeing a lot of people kind of being a bit kind of mean, but a bit critical of this design and how they didn't like it and didn't like parts of it. And I'm like, it looks exactly like all of his other design. Like, you see this. If I saw this, I would go, is that Stephen West? Like, you look at it, right? And you're like, that looks like Stephen West. Like, it looks like all of his other things. You know what I mean? And a lot of people saying, I won't wear this. And I'm like, well, then you're being a baby, because there's nothing wrong with it. It's absolutely fine. It's a work of art. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, this is a work of art. Like, I want to hang this up on my wall because it's so pretty. And I absolutely loved making this. I had so much fun, even doing the baubles that I hated, and the welts, and these shrimps. these shrimps were probably the worst. I don't like I-cords, so. And I hate short rows. There's so much in here that I did not like. These last stripes with the I-cords, oh my gosh. Y'all, for real. And when I was watching my last video, when I was editing it, I realized my colors were wrong. So I had to take it all out and start over at like the third stripe. My colors were wrong. So this stripe was red instead of black. So I had to redo the whole thing. But I blocked it. Everything's been cut. Everything's cut. My only complaint is that it's not as big as his other things. And with 3, I mean, it was pretty intense, like, time-wise. I feel like the first and the second clue weren't that bad. I had no trouble getting those done on time. The third, right, was these wings, right? Was that the third one? No, because the last one was this. So this was the second one. So then the third one was brioche and this, right? I think. I don't remember. I didn't look it over. But I felt like, other than the border, which took me, like an extra week. I just finished this on Monday. So it took me like just over the week, which probably would have taken me the week if I had, because I spent all weekend doing it because I messed it up. So it probably would have been done within the week had I not messed it up. So I feel like we had some extra time at the beginning in the first 2 clues. I think that he could have given us more to kind of give us more of a thing. But I understand in 4 weeks, given 4 clues in 4 weeks to do it, it probably couldn't be any bigger, maybe. I'm not sure because I don't design shawls this way. He designed shawls in a way that I don't even see. To be honest, like, how did you, why, like when he took us around here, this first part, and then ended us, I was like, well, shit. And then I knew we were going to have to go through and pick some shit up, right? So, but then you get this nice, almost Latvian braid looking thing up here, right? I just think it's so gorgeous. I think it's so pretty, and so, like, the shrimps are weird. These welts are weird. This crisscross thing, I hated. I hated these. And of course I hate baubles. I hate the baubles worst of all, I think, just because I don't even like how they look. Everything else I like how it looks. I just hated doing them. But the baubles, I hated doing them, and I don't like how they look. But that's totally my thing. I realize that people like baubles. I don't. They look like nipples to me, and they just look weird. And I think it's hilarious that mine are all red, because of course they are, right? If they were black, they probably wouldn't have bothered me. Probably would not have even bothered me if those were black. I also don't like pom-poms. I don't know why. I just don't. I don't really have I don't think I feel any way about tassels, but I dislike pom-poms. Yarn pom-poms. I don't mind the faux fur pom-poms. Those are okay. Really love this. I like it so much. I can see myself wearing it if I'm wearing all black, especially if I'm going to any sort of fiber festival. I would probably wear this just as like a status thing, because then people are going to take me more seriously, seeing that I have a Stephen West item, that's easily recognizable, and people will go, oh, that's Stephen West. So then they know that I know what I'm doing and I know who people are. Right? I hate not being taken. So every time I go there, they treat me like I have no idea what I'm doing. And I'm like, I know what I'm doing. You just don't have anything that's dark colored. So I don't like anything in your shop. Or I ask them about fiber, if they have different fibers. Like one lady, I was talking to her about her rabbits and stuff, like, because I was I was curious about the Angora fiber, just the qualities of it, you know, stuff like that. So I love talking to the fiber people because they will talk your ear off about all the qualities of those fibers. But some of the other people can be kind of judgy. So I really would like to hang this in my, I'd like to put this in my yarn room, have it displayed somehow. Probably on one of the mannequins, but the mannequins don't live in my yarn room right now because I still got the cat enclosure up. So yeah, love it. Glad it's done. I'm not sure I'm going to do next year. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about next year. I think I might make sure I have yarn on hand, and then I'll watch like the reveals, the first reveal, see how it's going, and see if I want to do it. I'm just upset that I had to pick 5 colors for this when it could have been done in 2. Because I would have rather it been done, just for my own personal style, I would have rather it been done in 2. It'd get a lot more wear if it was only 2 colors, for sure. So that's what I'm thinking of doing the next one. If I like the shape of the shawl, I could find a way to do it in 2 colors. I mean, it's not that hard. You can always replace something. Like I would have not done the baubles. I would have done something instead of baubles, for sure. You know, I would have just not done baubles. Could have done like a lace insert, a little lace insert or whatever. I mean, at that point, if you're already off script that much that you're doing 2 colors, then your yardage isn't going to matter because you're already going to be above yardage. So, and knowing we had 150, what I wanted to do was I wanted to because like I said, I took measurements of every color after every section if it was used. So I could see what color used in what section. So I actually could work out the yardage I would need, or at least the weight. I could work out the yardage from the weight if I wanted to make this one color, which is what I kept track of for if in case I did want to redo it. So now I'm like, do I want to redo it and just like put in different things for the things I didn't want to do? Could do that. But I've got so much on my plate right now, I think I'm going to give it a rest. And I'm going to put this, have this in the back of my mind for next year, Shawlography, and maybe try to do that in 2 colors and see if we can insert some of these things in there. Like this especially, I really like this thing. And I love this. So I was thinking either of those I could insert somewhere, because also being a shawl designer, it's very easy to, if you know the stitch counts and the, what do you call it? The because he starts and ends with that I-cord edge, so all of that is then that gives you the selvage, and then you only have to work with your stitch count in between that. He's really bad at giving stitch counts though. He's really bad at having stitch counts at the ends of his rows, which drove me nuts. Because if you are going to replace, that math is going to be important. But I love the video. I love waking up to a video every Friday. Absolutely loved that. I love that there were videos. It was so helpful for some of the things, even though we went so fast. I just watched him like 5 times before I understood what he was talking about. But I'm really, really thrilled with this finished object, and grateful for the experience. Anyway, love it. Very excited to wear it at some point. when I'm wearing all black, which is most of the time. So I could even probably wear this with might be okay with my Witchling. This is the red for my Witchling, which is the black. They're gonna look so good together. I'm so excited to get that done. Like, I can't even tell you. Now I gotta start all over. So annoying. Anyway, next week is a special episode. I'm not gonna tell you what it is, but it's a special episode that we haven't done before. It's not one of those scheduled that we do every month, because we have an extra empty one. So there were some things that I wanted to talk about. Anything shop related is probably going to be in its own, like a shop update video like I did for the last shop update. So when those colors come out, I will probably do a shop update to show you the shop update and tell you that they are open for pre-orders. So look for that. I have nothing else to tell you, literally nothing else to say to you. And so much of this is going to get cut down. I don't even know how long this is going to be. It's probably going to be like 5 minutes. Anyway, episode 50. Oh my gosh. And my podiversary is coming up next month. So I don't know what. Pretty sure that's the December die project is my podiversary episode. So I do have a plan for December die project. I do have one that's actually going to be made that month, so that's going to be a cool one. Very excited for that one. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna head out because look at this. The sun is so messed up. That's ridiculous. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for chilling. If you have any suggestions of anything you'd like to see or any comments of any kind that are polite, please leave them below or whatever. I really think you're going to like the next episode, next week's episode. It's a surprise, but I'm really excited for it. I got some fun stuff to share with you. Cool stuff happening. Anyway, thanks for hanging out. Take care of yourselves. I'll see you next week. Goodbye.